The board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 Anniversary Celebration Lecture of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade 081 063 41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090 454 00744. Signed, Management.
Good morning and welcome to ATN Blowout. ATN Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events and stories through correspondence reports, experts' opinion and stakeholders' analysis. Today we'll be looking at these stories. Edo State, mass resignation hits Okpebholo's cabinet. Edo shooting, DSS nabbed suspect over attack on Peter Obi. FG invites Gumi for questioning. Middle East war, no distress calls yet from Nigerians in Iran, and this is coming from the federal government. Security matters, Islamic leader warns Tinubu against state police. US issues security alerts to citizens in Nigeria. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can also connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Nets. You can also watch us live on our website www.atlanticnetwork.tv. I'm going for a short commercial break. When I return, I will introduce my guests for today's program. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, and still on ATN Blowout. Joining me today in the studio is none other than Mr. David Pius. He is a public affairs analyst and a philosopher. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I love the last part, the philosopher.
I knew you liked that.
Yeah, I love that because it's my catchment area.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, West Africa. Good morning, wherever you are.
All right. Let's get into today's stories. Mass resignation of political appointees has hit the administration of Governor Monday Oktobelo of Edo State. According to reports, the resignation of the appointees followed the circular dated February 28, 2026, issued by the Secretary to the state government, Omar Musa Ikilo, and made public yesterday, March 2nd, 2026. Ikilo directed all political appointees, civil servants, and all those serving in the administration who are aspiring to vie for elective position in the 2027 general elections to resign with immediate effect. Among those who have so far formally tendered their letter of resignation are Dr. Washington Osifo, Commissioner for Water Resources and Sanitation; Dr. Lucky Esegbe, Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development; Barrister Peter Ewadiye Ebinigye, the State Publicity Secretary for the All Progressives Congress (APC), and Mr. Pius Alile, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the State Governor, Honorable Dennis Idahusa. In their separate letters addressed to the Secretary of the State Government, Omar Ikilo, the three indicated interest in contesting for their various Federal House of Representative constituencies. Everybody seems to be planning for 2027.
Sure.
So, first of all, Mr. Pius, do you think that it was right for the state government, to issue the warning that if you want to vie for an elective position come 2027, this is the time for you to, resign from a position ahead of, or should they not have placed this much pressure on them and allowed them to perform their duties before the election period starts officially?
Okay, we have to take cognizance of the fact that those states, they're out of the normal calendar of let's say elections and all that. So the man just started his work, and he needs to have his first 11, to bring the dividends of democracy to the good people of those states. Now, these people that have aspirations, theirs is still, subsistent. So and if you watch very well, INEC shifted the election date. Last time we talked here,
it's been shifted back to
January.
Yeah.
And in that case, in fact, even in River State and other states, we should be knowing who is contesting for what in the next few months.
Yeah.
So if that be the case, he is trying to put his house in order. For me, despite what people say about the man, that he's not eloquent and all that, I feel he's wise to do what he just did, so that it will give him the leverage to have people that are really out to work in his government. So he now knows, okay, these are my first 11, because things like sanitation and water, it's very essential, especially in those states. I've been there, I've done some work there, and those people have some challenges when it comes to water because of the hilly environment they have. And you need somebody that will concentrate on the job, not some person that is there and is thinking of being a House of Reps member and all that. No. So what they did is the best. And listen now, and next month he should put capable hands in those places for the states to move forward, while those that have aspiration, no problem, can go ahead to do their bidding. But for me, this is a right step in the right direction.
Okay. Also, what does that speak to our governance in Nigeria as a whole? It seems like politicians or our political leaders are more interested in politicking than in governance, because if, like you just said, the governor mandate needs, with how his system is structured, he needs people that will work for Edo State.
True.
And those people just came in, and instead of them focusing on the appointments that has been given to them, they are rather looking forward to the next one. They basically leveraged their position for the next one, not without thinking or, you know, without considering the needs of the people. Because one would have said, look, you just got your appointment, right? Why don't you do the job, and then subsequently to not run. Subsequently, you can still think about, you know, running for another election after you've proven to the people that you're wealthy enough, you know, for that position. So what does that speak to when it comes to governance in Nigeria as a whole, and then politics? What does that say about us as a people?
For me, I'm looking at it from the, how will I call it, the insatiable nature of man. Most of the times, naturally, this is not about politics now. Humans are insatiable. You know, they get this phone today, they want to get this other one. iPhone 18 comes, they want to get it. iPhone 19 comes. So I feel that they wanted to, how will I say, plunge themselves with the adage, I say, bed at hand is worth 1 million in the bush. So now that they have gotten this one, they now know that, okay, I've gotten something, then I can now capitalize on that to get, for me, I don't see it as bad, even though there is a pinch of salt, of selfishness in it, because of course, not only them, there were others that also worked for Governor Pebolo and would have been concentrating on the job. Like I said, water resources is one of the challenges Edo State has, you know. If we have somebody that has been concentrating on that since last, when the election was finished, or when they came into power, by now, you know, you would have seen, you know, a considerable advancement in water and sanitation in Edo State. So the selfishness also is not only in Nigeria, it's everywhere, but that's a selfishness from man's inherent nature. Okay. You know, it's not peculiar to the Edo State or River State or Nigeria. It is the insatiableness of man.
But one would say it's actually peculiar to Nigerians, because if you compare our way of politicking to other climates, it's quite different. You said a pinch of selfishness, but one would say that there's a lot of buckets of selfishness with our politicians here in Nigeria. Because if let's say, for example, if we're going to compare it to other climates like UK, US, or even African countries, you don't see this this sort of, or this amount of selfishness when it comes to political leaders. So when you say it's actually quite peculiar to Nigerians.
That's Nigeria, Africa. You know, Africans, we are selfish, you know. Sorry to, I'm not painting us black, but it's what it is. You know, where if you're driving on the road, you see a simple thing for someone to just wait for you to pass, you know, they want to run. Where they are running to, we don't know. Okay, so that's selfish. Like I always say, that the government is a reflection of its people. That has been my maxim for more than 20 years, because I studied the character of humans, you know, and as a philosopher, like you said, I do some mind reading, you know, and I found out that normally the government we see, whether in the police, whether in the judiciary, whether in the executive, is just a reflection of its people. The moment the people are reorientated, you know, to extreme, what they call it, selfishness, and pick up selflessness, you now see that the government, the people that will come up, will be these people, you know, they will reflect what the people are. But for now, we're enjoying it. Going up with it.
Okay, it's quite unfortunate. Let's look at policy continuity.
Yeah.
How is this going to affect continuity in governance, especially in Edo State's governance? Like you rightfully pointed out, when it comes to, let's say, the water resources in Edo State, it's quite taxing for the people, right? So we have somebody already in place, and maybe they have policies in place to ensure that the water problems in Edo State is curbed, or to ensure that, you know, they bring solution to the water problem. Now, before the person could even finish with his term or finish with that policy or see that policy to the end, resignation, somebody else comes into play with different ideas and what's not, and then is that not taking the people backwards instead of forward? Because we do know that when it comes to Nigeria, and then policy continuity, we have a very big issue. Yeah. So what does that say about continuity in policies?
Yes, like I will tow your part to an extent, and also because I always like seeing things from two different dimensions. Okay, for that, when I come with an idea, about a place, the next person might have a different idea on how to tackle that same thing. We're going somewhere, but he's passing through this other way, I'm passing through this other way. That's what they might have. There might be conflict of interest. But thank God for the express understanding why we have the permanent secretaries in all the ministries. Those permanent secretaries, like their name states, permanent secretaries, they're always there. So definitely, I believe that they will, by every stretch of imagination, throw in the ideas, that the previous person had, because of course they have been there through the previous person to the next person, except they retire, and even if they do retire, they hand over to another permanent secretary. So I feel there might be continuity to a level, to an extent, but it may not be based on the ideology of the person that was there. Just for instance, the FCT that we all know, FCT ministers have come and gone. And they have policies, they have green life policies, they have, different types of policies. And next person comes, he will do things differently. This one has come and is doing something differently from others, So, but it is the same way. They just want FCT to work, And the how will I call it, the strength they put in to achieving that. This person may come and may be cold. This person may come and is, so vehemently pursuing what you want till it comes to pass, unlike the other person. So Edo State might have a little shake-up, but I pray that with time, everything will simmer down and they will move forward.
Okay, we're all hoping for the best.
We hope for the best.
Department of State Services has arrested a 26-year-old teacher, Udeme, over his alleged link to threats and the February 24th gunfire incident involving former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and other opposition figures in Benin City, Edo State. The move marks the first solid breakthrough since the tense shooting scare that followed Obi's visit to Benin, an episode that has continued to stir political debate as the country edges towards the 2027 election season. Confirming the development on Monday, a top security source confirmed positively to journalists. According to reports, DSS operatives swung into action shortly after Stephen allegedly posted threatening messages on his X handle, where he claimed responsibility for the attack and issued fresh threats. In one of the posts cited by investigators, the suspect wrote, "We warned Obi against his entrance into Edo State, but he mistook our resolve for his obedience online noise. Thank his stars, he survived this one." Sources said forensic analysis helped track the suspect, who was later arrested in a covert operation. He remains in DSS custody and is expected to be charged in courts. Talk of careless statements. First of all, I will start with the governor of Edo State, his careless statement, because quote unquote, he is basically quoting the words of Edo State government, because he said that do not come into Edo State to campaign because I cannot guarantee your safety. Yeah. He warned him. Now, this same guy, Udeme, is also literally quoting Monday's words that we warned him not to come, but he still came in. And I'm 50-50. I can 50-50 bet that this guy is just making careless claims.
That's what
the real orchestrator of these events will not go on Twitter, X, and then start making careless claims.
Of course.
How well or how should we be held accountable to our words, especially if you're in a position of authority? Because we've seen cases whereby our political leaders make careless statements. Yeah. We've seen it play out. Even now, El-Rufai is also facing the arm of the law because of his careless statements that he went on national television to go and make. Do we have an issue when it comes to PR issue with our leaders? Sure. Should they be more careful with their utterances, and how does that shape public perception?
Yeah, I opine to what you said about our leaders being trained. You know, in the US or in advanced climes, after your election, you are taught etiquette, how to talk, how to respond to matters, how to, you know, we don't have that in Nigeria. The best we have is the legislators that go for training, maybe to say how to learn how to make statements and tell the eyes and the nose and all that. Now, we don't have that training where these people are trained to know how to even walk. You know, in the US, in the advanced climes, they learn how to walk, even as public office holders. I was watching a video yesterday evening about the mayor of London. The way he wanted to enter his car, they said, no, please join the. He entered the train. If you see the way he was walking, the decorum, I saw similarities, you know, in that poise. We don't have it here. Anybody becomes anything, and they don't. There's nothing wrong in anybody becoming anything, but you must have to pass through the training, you know, that befits that office. Of course, careless statement has much to do. Like I said, I don't even believe that, number one, the name is playing me a kind of what in the local parlance we call ojoro, you know, because somebody that's answering Udeme is a name, which is Akwa Ibom State, but he was sounding as if he's from, in fact, in the Edo State, and even said his people in Rivers State.
Exactly.
And I was like, what part of Rivers State answers Udeme? You know, and so I know very well he might just be flippant in his statements, and that's the reason why this has happened. Of course, he may know one or two things. I wouldn't, because the DSS are also working.
Yeah.
I will not throw the bathing water with the baby. But I feel that he's not the main culprit. There are people that have masterminded this, in which we know may be even more vicious than this one. This one is just a social media, and that's why it's also good to be careful what you say on social media. Somebody made a statement, one of my friends made a statement on social media this morning, you know, supporting what's happening in Iran and all that. I said, please, my dear, bring down that statement. You don't know what happens tomorrow when you get to, maybe you get to get your visa, or you want to go to, and they said, this is the statement you made. So we should be careful. Even though we have, you know, freedom of expression, we should also learn how to know that we should be very careful. But for me, DSS, let them work, let's see how it comes out. But for me, I don't think Deme is the main culprit. He's just being flippant and, you know, loquacious. That's the word for it. That's what is happening to you, and that is why he's being arrested and all that. For me, that's not, they should go deep. DSS have the facilities and the wherewithal. I can tell you very well, because I've been having close contact with some of them. I know they can get information if they want to.
Okay. On the flip side, I've had analysts, especially when this issue was a hot topic, when it had just, you know, happened.
Yeah.
I've had analysts who believe that, they have two schools of thought. One believes that with Pebolo making that statement, he may not have necessarily follow through with that. You know, like we said, our politicians are known to make careless statements.
Careless statements.
An enemy of Peter Obi may have taken advantage of that to, you know, attack Peter Obi. He may have enemies everywhere. I mean, he's a public figure, and then not everybody might like him. We've also seen APC also come out and say Peter Obi's camp, or the opposition camp, may have orchestrated this event just to gain public sympathy and public vote ahead of the 2027 general elections. I would like to hear your take on this. How do you see, or which angle would you want to take this from? Also, what does this say to our violence in politics? This is not the first time we've seen violence when it comes to whenever the elections is near or during election period. So what does this say to us in terms of elections and violence, and also what angle do you want to take this from or look at this from?
That you're putting me in a spot there, because
I'm actually curious, and I'm sure our viewers are also curious to know.
And I think why I'm trying to play to the gallery in this one is because few days later, the same man they went to meet, where all this brouhaha took place didn't endorse Obi again. Rather, he was endorsing Amechi. You see, the way we think is quite different from the way others think.
True.
This man came to Edo State and he was attacked. Now, that's enough sympathy that you should have. But you, all of a sudden, now said you're endorsing Amechi.
And not the person that came.
Not the person that came. The governor has made a statement, an insightful statement, whether calculated or not calculated. And maybe someone, or maybe himself, because I cannot say I'm omnipresent to know what's happening everywhere. Maybe himself, or maybe someone capitalized on that to perpetrate this act. But let us look at this from a critical point. If you were the person, that had this attack, this thing was in the house of Oyegu. This attack took place. And the same man, Oyegu, was the same man that endorsed Amechi against this victim of his a few days ago. The witch cried at night. The baby died in the morning. Who killed the baby? So we should look at it dispassionately and not be stereotyped to believe in what they want us to believe. You know, because if I were the one, let's be realistic, I'll be sympathetic. Even if I want to say it, I'll not even say what I want to say now. I'll say it later. I might even do it without saying it.
True.
You understand?
Yeah.
But saying that, you know, abruptly after a few days, it changes my line of thought to say, are you sure you people were not the ones that came? And if you watch the kind of the bullets I saw were pump action bullets. If people want to come and assassinate someone, we know we live here. I've seen people, you know, seen scenarios where assassination attempt or gunshot. That's not the kind of bullets they use now. It was pump action bullets, which you shoot. When you shoot, it goes back before you shoot another. This one, it's a rapid one. If they want to come, they spray. But this one, boom, you wait again. You know, that's not the kind of, you want to assassinate somebody as big as, you know. So let's leave that. Maybe I feel it was for the cameras. I feel it was for the camera. If not, you know, for me, that's what I feel. I don't want to press more before if DSS calls me to ask me how did I know.
All right, then I'll not put you on the spot anymore, so that DSS does not come and carry you away and ask questions. All right. Finally, again, I like the fact where you pointed out that away from politics, that individuals themselves should be careful of their utterances on social media. How you advise a friend of yours over some statements she made on social media and what's not. Would you agree that our social media should be regulated by the federal government? The things we put out there, the things we say, and how we make use of social media should be regulated?
I feel we are not ripe to bring out the postulation that social media should be regulated, because, like I said, anything that has to do with Nigeria is a reflection of individuality, and we always take things to the extreme. So the moment you say social media should be regulated, you will find out that some people will take it to the extreme and will regulate the unregulatable. So I feel that the minds of people should be reorientated.
Okay.
Now, that will help you. It's just like when you're being trained or you're training your children. When you go, don't eat outside. Before you eat, tell me. Now, you don't necessarily have to put an on the road. Don't give my child food, but you've told your child already. So it's expected. The child might even collect that thing from the person, but will stylishly not eat it. Are you getting me? So the mind, if we reorientate the minds of people to understand that this is public space. In fact, even when we were growing, they told us that some things, don't tell somebody that I will deal with you, because someone else might take advantage of that. You understand me?
Yeah.
So by the time we start understanding that and reorientate our minds that no, it's not everything we see on social media. That's why I always blame the National Orientation Agency of Nigeria. I feel they are not working. I accosted one in the local government secretariat. I said, you people are not working. Things like this, you put it up. You know, you put it up on television, you advertise it on ATN. You know, say people should be careful on what they say. Put it on radio, put posters, you know, make it so people will understand. Even if when they want to say it unconsciously, they will realize, no, I saw one advert that I should not talk anyhow. You put it on the keke buses. As small as that, it sends message. You understand me? So that is their work. National orientation agencies. But they of course, they just go and sit down in the secretariat and collect salary and wait for promotion. That's always my problem with them, you know.
It's quite... But the people do need to be educated on how these things work. Federal government said the Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Ahmad Gumi has been invited for questioning over his comments on the activities of bandits in the country. Muhammad Idris, the Minister of Information and Orientation, disclosed this while addressing journalists at the State House, Abuja, on Monday. Recall the controversial cleric faulted the federal government on the continued use of force or kinetic means to ensure or secure the release of victims of kidnapping. Gumi said the government ought to go closer to the bandits and steady them to provide them with better living conditions. According to him, the government's use of force has now turned the bandits into monsters. On how to halt the trend, he said the government should design a program like the Amnesty Initiative for the Niger Delta militants. So we have a terrorist apologetic and then sympathizer. He says that the federal government did not use force on bandits. I mean, before we come to the action of the federal government.
Yes.
I mean, you know, Gumi, you know his utterances, you know where he stands when it comes to these bandits and all that. What's your school of thoughts concerning his actions?
It's about time. The moment I saw that news, I just exclaimed from my body, it's about time that man is called. You see, even when the Niger Delta militancy was on the rise, most of our leaders were not defending the militants as much as Gumi is doing. And anytime you see Gumi, he will always bring a narrative and compare it to the Niger Delta. These are not the same. The Niger Delta militants were fighting for resources that they saw at their backyard, that they were being impoverished while there was enormous resources at the backyard. It's quite different from you going to kill your brother. The same people that are Muslims, you finish killing the Christians and trying to exterminate them out of the north. Now you're pushing your Islamic agenda of killing even the Muslims that are not believing. You know, I believe, if you watch a few days ago, after the supreme leader of Iran was killed, even within them, the Shiites in the north were protesting. In fact, they are still protesting as I speak. Now, imagine, and who is of that school of thought? I mean, Gumi is among the school of thought. So, you imagine that kind of a person advising federal government on how to deal with them. Do you know how these extremists, these bandits, the militants they look at what do I do to make sure oil production ceases. You understand me? They don't come and arbitrarily bomb everybody. These people bomb villages. And you say we should take it with kid gloves. In fact, for those that have even repented that the federal government took back to themselves, the federal government they are receiving backlash
for that.
That's why do they bring those people back into the system? But of course, federal government said they have, talked to them, brought them back, like, how will I call it, rehabilitated them. Even at that, they are passing through such, which is more like an amnesty.
Yes, so
which is more like an amnesty. But we still have thousands of them. Still, yesterday, I saw a gory video of an attack. I don't know of the state, but is it Bauchi, one of these states? A commander died with some army men, and somebody made a post, a comment on that, said, these are people's husbands and fathers. You are still killing our people, army men. They only killed 1 or 2 army men in OD, and OD was leveled by army people. Then you still kill them in the north every day. You bomb villages, you displace them, and you say we should take it with kid gloves. This man should be, in fact, he should be arrested. Not only invited, he should be arrested. Because I believe, even when the Boko Haram people, when they were called Boko Haram, not bandits, they were calling him, he should be part of the negotiation.
Yes.
So why will you bring somebody that's like this to negotiate on your behalf if the person doesn't know about you? Please, we should face this, and he should be arrested, and he should give confessional statements. Let's know how to deal with these people.
Okay. Do you also believe then, Mr. Pius, that the governor's invitation to Gumi signals a wave of change in the approach towards our insecurity problems? Because this is not the first time. Gumi has been making these careless statements for a very long period of time. And so maybe last year when the US came in and then bombed Sokoto, we saw him running around trying to rephrase some of his utterances and statements, and then cleaning his social media pages and whatnot. But there's a man that has over the years agitated on behalf of these bandits and terrorists. And up until now, the federal government had not done anything towards it, had not said anything to him. So does this this new invitation towards Gumi signals the federal government's new approach towards terrorism, how serious they are about fighting banditry and terrorism here in Nigeria?
You're very correct. It's a sensitive matter. So therefore, that's why I love the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It doesn't take action when everybody wants that action. He knows steps to take. If he had caught Gumi when he came in, the next thing would have been said that Bola Tinubu is against the North. Yes, I trust Nigerians. That would have been a sympathy statement that would have gone, and no, Nigerians love sympathy. The moment they see you as the victim, they die with you. Okay? Now, if you watch, the US, don't be oblivious of the fact that the US, the hand of the US is also there for them to have invited this man, because of course you are aware that we have troops in Nigeria, and they must have gotten intelligent reports about this man, apart from his razzmatazz on Facebook and X and all that. I feel that it's about time, and it's a time in the, how will I call it, they are hitting the nail on the head now. This is the person. This person will give you confessional statements. No matter how strong he is, Nigerians have what it takes. Even the US, in collaboration with them, have what it takes to extract information from this man. If they have not been extracted enough, they just want to let him confirm that this is this and that. So for me, it's a right step in the right direction, and it's about time. Just like I said in the beginning, it's about time.
All right. I also want us to touch briefly on perception.
Yes.
Religious leaders have power, so much sway over Africans. Africans are very religious in nature. Like, let's take, for example, the cries of the Christian killings in the north had only got heard, or it only got to the public space as it did now, because first of all, the Catholic Church had to intervene in the the killings, and pray for. Before then, people were aware, but not so aware of the situation. Our federal government had not even gone to pay visits to those neighboring communities, those unfortunate, vulnerable communities, until the Catholic Church had to step in. Also, some of these, this pastor in the north that was raising awareness about the killings of Christians in the north was what got to the US and had the US also intervene on what is happening in Nigeria. So obviously we know the power that religious figures, religious heads have over the people. How do their words shape public perception, and how do we ensure that these individuals are regulated? I mean, I'm a staunch Christian. I do not believe that the Christian body should be regulated, but in sensitive issues or in sensitive cases like security matters, knowing the value and how powerful their actions, their words can impact the perception and then view of people, how do we ensure that their words, their actions are regulated here in Nigeria?
I will start with the word of Karl Marx that says that religion is an opium. You know, if you know what an opium is, you know, it's
a
like
substance.
a substance you take and you're not yourself. You know, the thing reasons for you. So, like you said, in Africa, religion has been, you know, an opium, a very strong opium. And whether it is the Islamic religion, whether it's the Christian religion, whether it's even the normal traditional religion that we practice, you know, it's an opium. And until we emancipate our minds, I'm a Christian, but my mind is open. I read Quran. I read the Book of Mormon. I read different books. I maybe we might say my sentiment of being a philosopher will make me do that, but I try not to box myself to the cocoon of a particular religion, because for me, the moment I box myself to that cocoon, it makes me not to think, and it kills my ability that God gave to me to rationalize. Okay, now the leaders have so much sway. I'm telling you, I was watching something yesterday. A man, I think they poured something, an oily substance on a goat in a church, a live church. Either a fuel substance on a goat, and the man used fire, lit a matchstick, and stoned on the goat, threw it at the goat.
I hope the goat was not alive.
Was alive. Oh. And the goat, with the flames all over, ran into the congregation. And I paused and thought about this. I said, what must have made this man do this? And those members will still come to church. They will clap. They say, bride on, Papa. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the Muslim guys also, you hear that during the election, we're giving some of them rice during this their fasting. One man now said something sarcastically and said, leave them whether they collect this rice or not. The day they want to do election, the imam, anything the imam says at their pulpit, that's what they will take.
Yeah.
I said, wow. I actually knew about this, but the realization of what religion, how deep religion has entered the skins of Africans, made me think that religion makes us not to think. Yes. And they should, for me, even though you said you're a Christian, you don't want religion to be regulated, for me, it should be regulated. Yes, it should be regulated. When it comes to security matters, before you make sensitive security messages, you should know the implication. And for me, for this course, religion should be regulated. And also when it comes to financial, things, because it's from there they do money laundering. You didn't hear it from me. Yes, it happens both in the Muslim or Islamic religion, both in the Christian religion, both in anyone that we have going on. That's how, because of course you see them as reverence. You do not want to search their bags. You do not want to embarrass them. So they leverage on that. Even the Islamic guys, you will not like to search the woman on the hijab, because of the religious sentiments attached to that. Before you know it, they smuggle things. The same thing with the pastors. So it should be regulated. Financial appropriation, regulation, doctrinal regulations, all those things should be done. Security statements should be regulated, especially security, because especially the North, the normal government stuff we learned when we were in secondary school taught us that during the colonial era, the North had the indirect rule moved well in the North. Why? Because the emirs or the religious leaders were both political and what? Religious. So they had this total control on the people. The same thing like the man that died in Iran, the supreme leader, supreme. So he had both religious and political power. So if he says we go here, that's where they go to. Okay. So it should be regulated.
All right. Speaking of Iran, The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, said yesterday it is yet to receive any distress call from Nigerians residing in Iran, following ongoing hostilities between Iran and United States and its ally, Israel. This came on a day the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it is still monitoring the situation in the Middle East. This is even as dozens of protesters marching around the Maryland area of Lagos yesterday chanted anti-US and anti-Israel slogans and called for global condemnation of foreign intervention in sovereign nations. The presence of the demonstrators heightened tensions as passers-by avoided the area. Recall that the Shiites had on Sunday protested the attack and killing of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in Kano, Sokoto, Gombe, Niger, Kaduna, Bauchi, and Yobe states.
It's laughable.
It's actually disheartening that while other countries and nations are already evacuating their citizens from these hot zones, some of them, even those that are not in the hot zones, are being issued warnings on how to protect themselves and being, given policies, okay, in case of this is what you're supposed to do. Our government says it's yet to receive distress calls from Nigerians in Iran. Mr. Pius, what do you have to say concerning this statement?
I am so pained hearing this, especially from an office that Abike Dabiri is. You are telling me that you're waiting for Nigerians to tell you, and you're not on social media. Yesterday, I was watching how Nigerians, Nigerians love social media so much, even those that are in the diaspora, how they were making live videos. They said they have not slept in Dubai. They've not slept for days because they are expecting the unexpected, anytime. And you're telling me, and I've never seen from the foreign ministry any warning. We have Nigerians in Iran. We have Nigerians in Afghanistan. We have Nigerians in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, that have asked their people, the armed forces, to retaliate. We have Nigerians there. Some of them go for pilgrimage and refuse to come back. Yes. So we have Nigerians in all those hot zones. There is no place in this world you don't have Nigerians. If you go to any place in this world that you don't have Nigerians, run from that place. I'm telling you, my younger ones, the 3 siblings I have, are not in Nigeria. Some of them are in this Middle East. I'm telling you. One is in Turkey. Now, these places are sensitive areas, which you know that things can happen. Now, what do? A normal sense that you do. You get these people all assembled together, whether it's through a WhatsApp platform, whether it's through any platform that they can be given information, and you give them, notifications of zones and what is happening, because the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is also privy to some of these security reports, which he can disseminate to the NIDCOM people, and they will disseminate the more sensitive ones to our people in other countries. And this is what I expect this commission to do. And they are not doing it. Instead, they're telling us they are waiting. They are waiting. So they are now being reactive instead of being proactive. You see, that's when you are putting square pegs on round holes. These are people that are not fit for the job. So I will call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to make sure that he relieves such people of their duty. Get people that have sympathy. That place is for people that are sympathetic, just like NAPTIP. It's for people that are sympathetic, and not for people that want to show that they are politicians. That's not for politicians. If Abike Dabiri, that I know that was a journalist, a crown congenital journalist in the NTA days, cannot have sympathy to know that this is a time for her to push for her people. If nothing, show concern. That, people living in Iran, we have them. I can tell you that some of our Nigerians are in the Iranian security guard. I'm telling you, Nigerians are everywhere. Even the places you don't expect, Nigerians are there. Saudi Arabia and Nigeria said, Dubai, we go there like every other day. Yeah. Dubai was attacked. So what are you waiting for again? Oh, you're waiting for them, the people in Dubai, to tell you that, oh, 2 people died. Meanwhile, in America, even Nigeria, that no bomb or knockout has sounded. They have sent a report that Nigeria's people, the US citizens should be careful. In Nigeria, the same Nigeria that you and I are, that we have not heard any knockout sound. But the people that are in Dubai, they've had attacks, Saudi Arabia, attacks, and you're telling me you are waiting. For me, this is the most regrettable statement I've ever heard.
Speaking of which, we are aligned with the US. We have them here, like we rightfully pointed out, we have them here trying to help us secure our country. We also have alliance with China. Israel as well. And we have alliance with these countries, and these countries are at war. It's like you rightfully pointed out, isn't it not supposed to be, is this not supposed to be a concern to our federal governments, noting that these people are aware that we have alliance with these nations? And if, like you pointed out, Dubai is being attacked, Saudi wants to retaliate, and all these countries we would not have even thought would have gotten involved in this war. Are we not supposed to be proactive and then try to defend ourselves and then our citizens who are also in this hot zone, in case that these people want to target us? Because at this point, we are also a hot zone.
Yes.
Some of these bandits and terrorists are also being sponsored by these same people.
True.
Okay, and then knowing that we are, aligned with the US and Israel, and they are supporting us and fighting our security, are we not also a certain target? And is our federal government not supposed to do something to ensure that its people are safe and secure?
Of course, we're a target. For the US to start their operations in Nigeria, they have to have a base here. Yeah. So they're in our waters. Now, if US is in our waters, think of it. If the Iranian man wants to hit US and he knows that the distance between him and US is very far, before he gets there they would have either brought down his missile or something, and he has an alliance with maybe one of these northern African countries like Egypt, which is a bit closer to us. Do you know they can use that to attack us? Yes. So we are a sitting target already. But the complexity about Nigeria's own is that we are both aligned to the US, to Israel, to China, even to Russia. So there's this complexity that behoves round about us. So it has its good part, it has its bad part. So the good part is that you don't know what to do, because in wanting to do what you want to do, you might be hurting yourself.
True.
Okay, that's why I feel like we are now having this lackadaistic attitude towards these things. But meanwhile, we should be in the top of our game, because of course the Shiites are the same they are in the same school of thought with the supreme leader of Iran that died.
Yes, which is why they are in the streets.
Yes, of course. So you know that there's a link, and like we said previously, that religion is an opium. These people don't think like us. These people think that they have killed their God. You understand me? So that will give them that they don't mind killing themselves or getting suicide bombers everywhere, which we should not be oblivious about. Yes, because they believe if they do that, about 70 virgins somewhere there for them. So they might want to go and get some virgins over there in paradise and now perpetrate some nefarious activities, which they have already been doing through the bandits. Let's not be oblivious of that. So for me, Nigeria is a target, and Nigeria should move as fast as possible if we are not already late. Security is being proactive. One thing about security, if I come out from my house, I look at everywhere before I move. I feel like I should be aware of my environment. If I come, I say, this place was not like this before. There's something has changed. That's being security conscious. Sure. So you have to be proactive and not reactive. If you're reactive, you'll be the casualty in every security matter. So Nigeria should be proactive.
Nigerians should be proactive. All right, let's move on quickly to our next story. A senior Islamic cleric in Plateau State has warned President Bola Tinubu against pushing forward with the creation of state police. The cleric said the move would or could worsen political tension and deepen insecurity in fragile states. The warning came days after President Bola Tinubu asked the National Assembly to amend the constitution to allow states establish their own police forces to tackle rising insecurity across the country. Speaking at a public religious program in Jos on Sunday, Sheikh Sani Yahaya Jingir, who leads the Jama'atu Izalatul Bida, said state-controlled security outfits would be abused by politicians. He argued that in a politically sensitive environment like Plateau State, such a force could be turned into a weapon against perceived enemies. He warned that once state police structures are in place, old ethnic and political disputes could be revived under the cover of law enforcement. Sheikh Jingir urged political leaders to focus more on dialogue, reconciliation, and unity instead of creating new security bodies that may be misused. Is his sentiments over the top, or is he actually right in stating that having given the go-ahead for state police could be actually abused? I mean, yes, we have security problems, and then most of the time our security outfits are underfunded, and the personnel and what's not. Is this a time for us to start creating additional security outfits, or are we meant to rather reignite or rejuvenate our security outfits to ensure that they have the necessary tools, equipment, everything they need for, securing our country, Nigeria?
I will say I tilt a bit to what the what's his name, the Sheikh said.
Yeah.
Now, why do I tilt that? Like I always say, when I tell you Nigerians are not ripe or Nigeria is not ripe, I have my reasons. Because, we're not operating a normal federal government or federated state, which makes power, to be, how will I call it, domiciled in the state. Now, and the center not having so much prominence on the state, you see. So I feel we're not ripe. Of course, like he said, if RISEC, AKISEC, which are the state's electoral commissions, can be influenced by the state government or the government in power, how much more will the police force of the state not be influenced by the politicians? Of course, from the time of employment to recruitment to, whatever they want to do, you know very well that it will be greatly influenced. And if that is influenced, it will affect the whole system. For me, I feel I point to what you say, we should get more equipment, sophisticated equipment, more training, and let it be federal police, which they can use in having a uniform operations all over the state up until such a time, because I'm also a proponent of the state policing, until such a time that we are ripe, that you and I will know that, okay, even though I'm in this state, I am protecting the lives of every person from every other state that is here. I am protecting the law and not politicians. I'm protecting that which is right, morally just, and not what the people in power feel like I should do. Until we come to that time, nobody will tell you. You will see that these people are. It is the aspirations of humans, or in that area. Just like I said, a reflection, every society is a reflection of the people in power. They will now say, no, we are now okay. Then you can talk of state policing, which is the best. Because a state police officer, or will I say, people in the state police sector, will know more the nitty-gritties and those nooks and crannies more in a particular locality. But for now, I feel they should have a kind of a supplementary force like the civil defense.
Okay.
Now, you can make the civil defense to be state-based. They carry ammunition also, but state-based, and they should report to the federal.
Okay.
The activities should be curtailed, the kind of, just as it is. If a civil defense person comes to arrest you for something that is on a civil or oil or bunkering matter, he hands you over to police. Even an army man comes to arrest you for something or accost you or something, he hands you over to the police, because only the police that have the right to do all that. So for me, the NCDC, the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, should be now fragmented, if you ask me, to being the state police. Then their activities should be overseen by the federal police, which is the Nigerian Police Force. It will allow for us to have that, you know, synergy, and also to accomplish all what we are saying. But until we get to that ripe stage where we now say, okay, no, we just want the state police. That's my thought.
Quickly, some will also say that, I mean, whether we agree to it or not, even up until now, the federal security institutions are still being utilized or being manipulated by these politicians. So what's the difference? We have a state police and then a federal police. Even the federal police, they are still being, forget the politicians, by individuals themselves. I mean, as long as you have the means, you have the resources, you can use these people to your advantage.
True.
So instead, why don't we just go ahead and then set up a state police, especially now that we've become a security hot zone?
For me, I will not share totally with that sentiment, because I know very well, I remember the times of when Chief Barrister Nyesom Onwike was the governor of Rivers State. No, not before that, before then, when Right Honorable Chibuike Amechi was governor. I remember when he was complaining about a certain policeman, a commissioner of police, Mbu. Yes, one Matthew Mbu, at something Mbu, yeah. He was the commissioner of police. He was not in tandem with the state governor.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe because of his policies and all that, or maybe because of the directives he's having from Abuja and all that. Now, the same thing goes to when Chief Barrister Nyesom Onwike became governor. I think there was one Akin Fakorede, okay, that came, and they were in disparity, and there was always this challenge. So I believe there should be that kind of checks and balance, you know, in such case. And the federal policing is only that which should give you that, how will I call it, that leverage of having that for now. Okay. Because whilst you're thinking this way, they are thinking this way. Maybe if I'm thinking this way, this one is thinking this way, we might come to understand the truth of the matter. That's my thought. So I feel that the federal police should still be there while we domesticate the state police into NCDC or any other, you know, one that almost came out years ago, one federal security stuff that almost came out. Those ones can be used as vigilantes and all that. Okay. Yeah, for me, that's the best than to, you know, say we don't want federal policing again. No.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Pius.
Thank you.
And now to our final story. United States government has released a global security alert for its citizens in Nigeria and across the world, following rising tensions between Washington and Tehran. The advisory issued by the State Department on Sunday called on Americans to remain vigilant in the wake of recent U.S. military operations targeting Iran. According to the notice, shifting security developments could disrupt travel plans and pose safety concerns, including possible interruptions to air travel. The alert further advised U.S. nationals to sign up for the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program to receive up-to-date security information. It also encouraged U.S. citizens to monitor the U.S. Department of State security updates for U.S. citizens. WhatsApp channel for additional updates. The warning follows coordinated strikes carried out by the U.S. and Israeli forces on Iranian targets. The attacks reportedly resulted in the death of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, Abdul Rahim Musavi. Do I need to ask anything, Mr. Pius?
No.
Please take it from here.
It's just so painful when you hear.
It's glaring.
Yeah.
Seeing how concerned other countries are about its citizens.
Even
and then
creating WhatsApp channel where you're going to check. WhatsApp channel. As easy as that. And our own country
is waiting.
We're waiting. Abike Daberi and his team, and our team, sorry, they are waiting to hear. Meanwhile, nothing is happening in Nigeria, but they are already sending advisories. This, that, what to do. Of course, if you look at the places that have the propensity of having this violence, it's enough. Okay? But where are these U.S. citizens, mostly? Rivers State, Abuja, Lagos, which are not even volatile as compared to the north. But still, they've sent advisories. But in Nigeria, Abike Dabiri and her team.
Why do you keep hammering on?
Hammering on her name because I wish she should be watching this. Okay. Because it's our responsibility.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility to make sure, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I don't know whether it's only to send ambassadors to different countries that is work. Your responsibility is in times like this. You see, that's why people say this man, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, is working. He doesn't wait for the president. The president has mandated him to do something in Abuja, and he's doing it as if he's mad. He's doing it breaking grounds. He doesn't care whose ox is God. But meanwhile, you have been given a responsibility. Something as simple as sending a directory and an advisory, getting a WhatsApp channel where you can check what is happening to your people. You just do your work. And they have not done their work. Minister of Foreign Affairs have not done their work. It's a common call on all of them to do what is expected of them. It's painful to hear. Then US, one thing I heard when I was growing up, they said in US, if one US citizen dies, it's as if the whole army could come and, bring that place down. Do you know what it means for me to hear that if something happens to me, that the whole army of my country will be sent to, deal with those people? That gives me confidence. That gives me the sense of patriotism. I will have that. I will know that I can stand for my country. This one, we are not even aware. And I can tell you, because of the way Nigerians are so populated, maybe some of our people were among those that were bombed in Dubai, but we didn't know. Because we don't have data.
We have data, the information.
Information.
Yeah.
Because the people are supposed to come and have it like a conglomerate, wherever they are. And you also as the head of whatever they call you, Abike Dabiri and the foreign minister should have gotten in contact with all these people. In fact, the day they just heard that there was one bomb thrown to Iran, they should be proactive, knowing fully well there will be reprisal attacks. That's what we expect them to do. By the time you inform us that on television, on radio, we now know that we are in a country that care about us. That's what we are looking out for. Not wearing agbada and wearing the Yoruba caps and all that and form that you're a minister. The minister is the work itself. I wish the president can take actions on these people.
Speaking of which, finally, what advice do you have for the people of Nigeria, those in these hot zones, since our government is waiting for them to make the first approach them and tell them we need security, we need you to come and evacuate us from these hot zones? How would you advise them to move forward to ensure that the lives of Nigerians are protected? Yeah,
my first advice to them is for them to come together, first of all, create a kind of a group within themselves. You might not have everybody at this point because everybody is, people are, going helter-skelter. Just put yourself together wherever you are. Make use of the social media, escalate your information on social media, tag as much as you can tag the verified handle of Tinubu, tag the verified handle of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, tag some influencers like VDM, tag Tunde Ednot, just tag people. you know that your informations can be disseminated, then you do videos. This time to create the content, a good content this time. Tell people about what is happening in that area. By the time you do that, it will at least escalate to a level, and help will come. Especially, I know the responsiveness of the president. He knows what to do at every point in time, not Abike Dabiri.
I don't know what Abike did to you, but I'm apologizing on her behalf.
I'm angry with her. I love that so much. So I'm so angry that she cannot do something as simple as that. Is telling me that you're waiting.
It's quite unfortunate. Hopefully, she will do the right thing moving forward. All right, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowout. Thank you so much, Mr. David Pius.
Thank you, the delectable one.
Thank you, sir. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can also connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Never forget that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Open Conversation comes up shortly. Please don't go away. Thank you for watching. I am Antonia Asobel.
The board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 Anniversary Celebration Lecture of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.